Hi, my name is Melanie, and today I'll be talking about something that's very important to me, child labor laws in tobacco fields. Because every day, children as young as 7 are being brought into work with their parents here in the United States. 90% of tobacco fields alone are located in North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, and North Carolina. Although the New York Times made a wonderful editorial about laws being made to protect children, but I would like to refute the New York Times by saying that the main claims made on the editorial, a ban on child labor in tobacco fields, claims were very weak. I feel that this editorial would have been more justified and persuasive if the article came from a pathos appeal for the children rather than talk about just what is being done for the children. I'm going to discuss other potential illnesses children can contract from working in the fields and the extremity of their work conditions. While I am very happy that there are being rules and laws being motioned for the children from having to keep working in the fields, this alone cannot take care of the physically damaging and illnesses the children have already ingested while working on the fields. The first point I will make is the editorial said the Department of Labor proposed rules 3 years ago that prevented children from under 16 from participating in the cultivation, harvesting, and curing of tobacco. The editorial does not go into depth about what that really means. The work conditions the children had to work in were miserable and not safe. The report, Tobacco's Hidden Children Exposed, stated that children reported being exposed to pesticides and to extreme temperatures, unrelenting heat while working in tobacco fields. Some say that they are using sharp tools and cut themselves, or operated heavy machinery and climbed significant heights, risking serious injury. Many children describe straining their backs and taxing their muscles while lifting heavy loads and performing repetitive motions, including working bent over at the waist, twisting their wrists on top of tobacco plants, crawling on hands and knees, or reaching above their heads for extended periods of time. The report also said children worked long hours in the heat, no access to water, toilets, hand washing facilities, or shade. The editorial never mentions the extremity of the work conditions children lived in on a daily basis. I feel this is extremely important to mention because this regulates most of the work condition laws and would not be acceptable in most work locations. The second point I'll be making is another claim made by the editorial states that the federal government should move to prohibit anyone younger than 18 from working in the industry given the risk of exposure to nicotine, which can be absorbed through skin contact with tobacco plants and can hurt brain development in young people. According to CLO, these symptoms and nicotine poisoning is not the only thing they can contract from working in the fields. The children can also have exposure to short and long-term effects. A common sickness such as green tobacco symptom, which is harmful sickness to your central nervous system, respiratory problems, musculoskeletal lesions, and pesticide poisoning. Although the editorial did speak of what could happen to the children, they did not speak of everything. There is much exposure to harmful pesticides that could hurt children forever. This article also speaks of how not all children are covered by health care, which can be extremely hard for children to be nursed back to health without proper care. In conclusion, my refute to the New York Times by stating that the main claim made on the editorial, a ban on child labor laws in tobacco fields, claims were very weak, and has now changed what I feel needs to be stated. The editorial needs to be justified and more persuasive by coming from a pathos appeal. My new claim discussed the working condition of the children and actual more common illnesses the children can develop while working in the fields. In conclusion, I feel that my refute to the editorial by using a pathos appeal now appeals to the emotional, moral side to people. This is a morally wrong act that these children have to do, and if more people knew the actual suffering children went through, this may become a bigger controversy than it already is. Thank you.